full day, like you're done with 2 or till 5. Full day, like you're done with 2 or.
My work colleague.
Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the weekly meeting for the Rotary Club of Harleysville, and we're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now, the 4-way test. All the things we say and do. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? And our reflection today will be from Gary Volpe.
Lord, we thank you for today. We thank you for the blessings that you give this country, to us as a people, Lord, and all the things that we have that many others do not have. Lord, we thank you for our talents and our abilities and our time, Lord, and the opportunity to invest these talents into Rotary to serve others, Lord. We thank you for these blessings. We thank you for this food we're about to take part in, and also the fellowship that we will enjoy. In His name, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Gary. We're going to flip-flop our agenda a little bit today, because Luke's got to go to work.
Somebody's got to work.
So we have a guest speaker today, Luke Ryan, who is a camper that we sponsored for Camp Neidig, who's going to give us a brief reflection of his experience at the camp. Luke, come on up.
Also, I have a Neidig yearbook, which has a bunch of pictures in it, so if anyone wants to see this.
Yeah, another as well.
can
So
pass these around.
Picture of you gets his back.
Good morning. So my name's Luke. I camped at Neidig this year, and first of all, I want to say thank you to everyone who gave me the opportunity to do that. I know that not a lot of people get to do that, so I'm very thankful for that. So going into Neidig this year, I do have to say that my brother did it, and my parents, this was one of the things they made me do. I wasn't super pumped, because like leadership camp to a high schooler doesn't sound, oh, that's going to be awesome. But I did talk to my brother Garrett about it. He said it was very fun, and I trust him. So I was a little excited beforehand, but it was still like, I don't know, is this going to be fun? Is this going to be more like school? So going into it, I was a little iffy. When I got there, all the people that I met immediately, and most of the people there are completely outgoing because it's a leadership camp. So people were coming up to me and introducing themselves. So that was really cool because that doesn't happen at some place like school. It was a lot different than that. But I got there, I immediately made a couple friends. If you're looking at the yearbook, one of the friends I made first was someone named Bobby I was on Team Green. And Team Green was something that I will probably never forget because we bonded almost like a family during those 4 days. And I think we were closer. I might be biased, but I think we were closer than any other team during those days. So during the experience, obviously there's a lot of leadership, like problem solving stations. So I don't know how much everyone here knows about the camp, but in these stations, you work together with your team to overcome some obstacle, like putting boards on a bunch of blocks to get over water or something like that. And there's always different hardships that you have to go through. And one of the things that my team specifically had trouble with was failure. And I don't mean that like, we were a little too good at failing. So a lot of the counselors at the camp were trying to encourage like the aftermath of failure. So what do you learn from failure? What can you take away? And Team Green sort of pushed it off. We were like, okay, we'll fail. We'll get them next time. It was almost like we were too late off, and we actually got confronted about that because they were like, you guys are supposed to be upset at each other. What are you doing? Why aren't you more go get them? Why aren't you arguing? And our team was just a little like, okay, we'll get them next time. It doesn't matter. We shouldn't be mad at each other. And I don't know if I like that more. I think it would be better not to argue, but obviously at the camp, they want to encourage leadership. And one of the things that I wanted to talk about was, as soon as I got to the camp, obviously there's the Camper of the Year award, and I got there and I was like, I'm not going to win this. And going in, I was like, I kind of had a funny attitude. I was about it, like, oh, I want to win. I want to get the Camper of the Year so I can talk about it. And I got there and I realized that's not what my group needed, because all of these people are leaders, and sometimes they need a sidekick. They need a secondary person, someone who's not going to try to take charge, someone who's not going to try to do that. And if you look in the yearbook, there's actually a superlative thing that each team did, each group. And ours did, what animal would you be? And so they picked a golden retriever for me. So like a loyal sidekick kind of thing. So I kind of took pride in that role. And I think that I really helped my group with that. This is a funny picture. We found these cowboy hats at camp, and we were wearing them around for most of the camp. So like I was saying, I definitely made a lot of friends at this camp. We were really close with Team Green, and I feel like even though our experience wasn't as traditional as some counselors would have expected, someone in our group did win Camper of the Year. That's Sam right in the front with the hood, next to the left. There we go. That's Sam. She won Camper of the Year, which we were all very proud of her. And I think just to speak to the family aspect of it, after the camp was over and everyone could go home, our group ran to the spot that we had been meeting all week in this little gazebo thing. And we were all like giving hugs to each other and saying goodbye and stuff. And all the other teams were leaving, but we were like, we don't want to leave yet. This is the end of our experience. So it was definitely awesome. Oh, there's me in the background jumping. That's a good picture. But yeah, this camp was awesome. I really enjoyed it. And I think the one takeaway that I had was just, it was so much easier to make friends than in a different experience. And that part of it was completely awesome. So again, thank you for the opportunity, and thank you for listening. I'll take questions if you have any.
How many students attended? Like how many of our team were there?
I think there was around 80 total, and each team had 14, so whatever that math is, 6 teams, 7 teams, something like that.
From your experience, when you go back to school this year, is there anything that you're taking, like something that you're saying, hey, this fits what I'm going to be doing next year, and I'm going to remember, or I'm going to use this skill?
I would say what I was talking about like adapting to a situation, how I think I should have been a secondary character in some situations because some people are more leaders than I am. I think that part of assessing a situation can be applied in school, definitely. I'm on the track team, and it was my first year last year because of COVID. As a junior, it was my first year, so I was not the best, and I know how to accept that. I'm going to take the secondary role in that situation too. But now I got to see people being leaders in a group, so maybe that'll be me this year in track, as I'll be a senior and I'll get to do that. So that's definitely one situation I'll be able to apply that in.
When you talked about that notion of the green team was a little bit more taking things in stride and kind of figuring it out and working it out. Do you think that some of the other teams that were a little bit more gun-ho, do you think they reflected on that as well, or did they like win every competition?
I don't know exactly what the other teams experience. Maybe they have the same attitude as me, and it's just I don't know that because I wasn't there. But I definitely feel like green team was a little more riled up at some times. So it was like we weren't as upset, but we were also more energetic, like during the team competition section where there were a bunch of relay races. One of the pictures that we had up was our team doing stretches and exercises beforehand. We were all like getting in a circle and chanting and stuff. So that was really exciting. And I think other groups would have been like, what are they doing? Why are they doing that kind of thing? But
I went to pick them up, and yes, we waited for them as they were all huddled somewhere. Where's Lou? That's just a comment. Question though, since we support the camp, is there anything that you feel could be different or improved, or something that you didn't like or could be done differently?
I don't know. Everything about the camp itself I really liked, but like I was saying before, I guess I just have a different attitude than most people because some of the counselors were like wanted my team to be a little more upset at each other and a little more arguing within each other because they kind of encourage that, and I guess I just disagree with that. But that's more of an internal change.
We did talk about this on the way down there. How was the food?
Oh, I forgot to say this. I have a whole bit about this. The food there was probably average compared to most food, but for camp food, it was a lot higher than I was expecting. We had a couple nice meals, and someone in our group named John was actually kind of a meal critic. So every meal we got, he was getting seconds, and he was like analyzing, is this well done? Is this blah, blah, blah. So that was fun. No, it was good. There were a lot of good meals there, and the desserts were probably really top notch for me. There was a lot of blueberry cake, strawberry cake, big hits. Thank you.
Good to see you. Scrambled eggs, scrambled rice.
Thank you, everybody, for this opportunity. You're welcome. All right, take care. I don't get your name.
Thank you.
Take care, John.
3 eggs.
Yes, thank you. Well, that was a great presentation, and it just goes to show how great that camp is, what a great opportunity it is for young people in our community to be able to sponsor them there. I don't know if you saw Caleb come in earlier, but I made a deal with him. I said if there's ever any first responders or EMS people or policemen that are eating at the restaurant, to bring me the checks. So apparently there's a whole bunch of them.
You gonna do that again?
John? Yes.
He's a second responder.
You know, before I get started on our calendar, there is one thing that I got kind of a call one day this week from the Doylestown Rotary Club. Some of you members may know Greg McGovern. You remember him? Okay. Apparently, unexpectedly, he passed away. I think he was on vacation in Portugal, and I guess there'll be an announcement about that. Maybe before the end of the week. I would imagine it'd be in the Intelligencer, if you could go on their website and monitor that. But they called me. I think they were trying to get in touch with Dean. They couldn't find his number, so they contacted me, and I said that a number of you in the club knew him. So I just want to make sure that you knew that and were aware of that.
Charlie, you on LinkedIn?
Am I?
Yeah.
Yes.
He's on there.
Oh, okay.
So there's probably a phone number or an address.
On LinkedIn?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I just wanted to let you know. On to our calendar. So, the 4-H fair is coming up, and we are going to be doing the parking. And I think there was a sign-up sheet that has been circulated around the last couple of meetings. Dean, are there any particular slots that you are aware of that we need real help with?
Yeah, 11 to 1 on Friday.
It's kind of midday?
Yeah,
Okay,
and then 5 to 7. The rest of it was pretty good.
okay. If you can circulate that, Frank's raising his hand. And that's always been a great event for us. It's always great to go and volunteer for that, because you also get an opportunity to walk around and see what's going on at 4-H. And it's really neat to see all the different things that they do there on display.
Hey, John,
Yeah.
quick question. Is there still money in the budget, 250 for the 4-H?
I would believe so. Yeah. I didn't change the budget, so.
So what we do is we support at the animal sale.
Okay. Is anyone in your family selling animals this year?
Yeah, my granddaughter's gonna be showing some of the animals that I raised on our farm. Well, not our farm, our rented farm.
Oh, okay. And then they'll be sold at the end of the
Yeah.
event? Okay, I see. Okay. So,
Last year, she got $4,800 for the first prize steer.
wow, amazing. Okay, fantastic. And that's grass-fed, free-range meat.
Massaged every morning.
The day after that is a joint project with the North Penn Rotary at the Garden of Health. So if anyone has the opportunity, I think it was 9 to 11.
9 to 11. Mona's going to be in charge of that. I will be away. But yes, North Penn wants to start coming every second Saturday with Harleysville Rotary as a joint effort to help Garden of Health. So if you guys can make it, that'd be great.
13. Speaking of Garden of Health, Gary Volpe's having an event this Saturday, and all the proceeds from that event, and it's happening at Gary's office on Church Road in North Wales, and all the proceeds from that event are going to the Garden of Health, and I know volunteers are welcome. I know we have some people who have signed up to volunteer. Gary, do you have any particular needs for that event?
If anybody else that wants to volunteer, there's plenty to do.
Okay.
Yeah, and the volunteers would be there basically from 11 to 1, even though the event is from 10 to 2.
Okay.
But that's when we will need help. We will be cooking hamburgers and hot dogs and different ice cream. Sounds like concert Sundays, but yeah, and then there's all kinds of games and things for the kids. The kids have a blast. Little story, when we first did this many years ago, we had 3 kids come into the Bluebells, right? 3. And we rented this Bluebells for $100, and we go, we're gonna do this again. I'm telling you, you remember the Halloween parade, how many kids were? That's what it looks like today. There are so many kids that come to be on these freedom slide, the Bluebells, so grandkids, kids, you know. Bring them along. They get a free meal and ice cream.
And then there's silent auction items.
We have 50 silent auction items. 50 silent auction items. Something for everybody.
And I don't know if anybody gets any of the local newspapers, but there was recently an article about Volpe Enterprises, and there was a picture in the article of a gentleman that has a vague resemblance to Gary Volpe.
Where did you see this?
Yeah. I saw it online, but there's a picture about your new office on the main line, or an article, and there's a picture, you know, one of those vintage pictures of you at your desk.
Must be vintage.
Towards the end of the month, on August 26th, we have the golf outing coming up. Lon, do you have any updates about the golf outing?
Bear with me. Number one, if you talk to anybody that was going to do a sponsorship, please revisit them if they want to get their logo on any of our printed material. please get it to us ASAP. The email's on the bottom here to get it to Carolyn at Carol's office. So take one of those if you want to talk to somebody again. We'll pass that. Number two, we can still use golfers. So if you know any golfers, pass this around and hand them out. You can sign up online. So we can pass that around and get some golfers for us. We're up to about 60 golfers right now. And as far as sponsors, we're about 13,000, but we can always use more. So.
And you have the sign.
Use up to 130.
Yeah, we need 120, we have to pay for 120 golfers, whether they show up or not, so. Go out there and meet the 16.
And Lon, you have the sign-up sheets for the volunteers? Yeah.
And then if you have graciously donated a basket, if you get that, we have about 20, so I'd say we're in okay shape, but if you do have something, I'll pass this around if you want to log it in. But if you can get it here by August 17th or the 24th, or get it to me or Carol personally, so we can get that moving along. And this is the basket list, so if you have anything else, but generally speaking, I'd say we're all right. More importantly, here's our volunteer sheet. Carol sent this out to her volunteer list through Sign Up Genius, but we could always use help, so we'll pass that around too.
Thank you, Lon. And at the very end of August, on August 31st, we will be having a district governor visit. So District Governor Len will be visiting the club. So let's have a great turnout. Our reputation precedes us, so let's give District Governor Len a good showing on that day.
Hey, John, what was that date again?
The 31st, August 31st.
So that'll be our program for that day. Cool.
Yes, and that's on the district calendar. So if you want to see, he's doing a ton of visits this month. So he'll be here on the 31st. The Croquet tournament's coming up on the 17th. Any updates from the Croquet Committee?
Yeah, everything's proceeding along fine. We have regular sponsors. We now have, we made 3 event sponsors at $1,000 a piece. As of yesterday, all 3 are taken already.
Wow.
So now we'll fill in with some other sponsors, but we need players. We need people that are going to play. And we are getting a lot more people interested, even Randy, right? But we are getting a lot more people that are interested in playing, so that seems to be coming along good. But if we want Rotarians out there playing with their Rotary shirts, it would be really nice.
Yeah.
This is just for older people, right?
You're in there, Len.
Thank you, Gary. And the Halloween Parade and Family Fun Fest is coming up on the 22nd. Any updates on that?
No, we're hoping to have a Zoom meeting tomorrow night if we can.
Zoom meetings tomorrow night.
We had a Zoom malfunction.
Okay. And on to the rest of our program. Next up is, are we doing Rotary Trivia today? You're missing your announcer.
We are. Mr. Schallenberger has
Okay.
graciously stepped in.
Next up is Rotary Trivia. And I'm sorry, yes.
Before October 15th, the District Rotoclast Committee is going to be sponsoring a theater event up in the Lehigh Valley, up in Bethlehem. And I'll have more information to follow, but if you're, it's kind of not my thing, but if you enjoy theater, it's, I'm forgetting the name of the
archery season.
Yeah, well, I know, that's why. It's like, I'm not into it for a lot of reasons, but it's one of those days I have to help, you know? Yeah, I'm aware, trust me.
Thank you, Randy.
Yes.
Hi from Franconia Cafe, it's Rotary Trivia. Join us as one lucky contestant will play to win a fabulous grand prize by showing us what they know about Rotary. I'm your announcer, Pete Schallenberger, here with your host, Phil Jenkins.
Hey! Thank you. Well, as always, let's get started by. Oh, threw you off. Okay, let's get started by telling the audience about today's grand prize.
Oh, I'll ask the audience to direct their attention to our spokesperson, Carol Bauer.
You have the bag. I don't know what's in the bag.
Courtesy of Marcia Pals, today's contestant will be playing for.
That's why Larry didn't come.
That's why Larry.
You cannot pronounce that
I don't
word.
know what this is, but it's an outdoor 71-inch by 55-inch blanket.
I don't think you want me to take it out of this to show you, because you'll never go back in.
It's compact. It's compact, lightweight, sandproof pocket blanket that's perfect for the beach, hiking, travel, camping, or festival. Complete with pockets, loops, stakes, and a carabiner. Carabiner. It's a blanket you won't want to be without. Retail value of our blanket, let's say we have it covered.
Well, I'd say that gives it pretty much a blanket statement as it is anyway. Okay.
Okay, today's
Let's keep moving.
Today's contestant was selected at random from our studio audience just moments ago. Whether it's answering a question about Rotary or winning our ground blanket, this Rotarian knows what's at stake. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm round of applause to Chuck Heckenberger.
I like to work undercover. I'll send you my scripts. All right, well, here we go. What was the first design of the rotary wheel? A ship's wheel, a gear wheel, a wagon wheel, or a Ferris wheel? What was that first design? Of course, after 50-50, ask the audience and ask a friend.
I'm gonna do the 50-50, please.
Oh, do the 50-50?
Yes.
Okay. Nobody believes anybody around. All right, Dan, if you take away 2 of the incorrect answers. Okay, it wasn't a Ferris wheel.
Okay.
So is it the ship? Was that sort of what you were thinking?
I was thinking wagon wheel. Wagon wheel? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, now you ask the audience.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with C.
C, wagon wheel.
Yes.
Final answer.
Yes.
All right, let's see, Dan. Let's see what the winner is. It is wagon wheel. You are a winner. That blanket is all yours. But wait, as always, there's more. Actually, there's a little bit of an evolution to this whole thing. Montague Bear, he was the engraver of the Chicago Rotary Club. He created the wagon wheel. And then, they thought it was a little dull, so they added what he said were clouds, sort of. So
Looks like
it's not
dust.
there. Yeah, well, that's exactly
Yeah.
right. They said, no, it looks like dust. But because you can't have dust in front of the wheel and behind the wheel, it doesn't make sense.
No.
He kind of came back and said, well, you know what, I'm going to put the Rotary Club a banner up top, and that's what that happened. So that's the way it started. So it was a wagon wheel, you're correct. Then in 1912, 1918, they wanted to try to wrap this together, and I believe maybe there was a little bit of competition at the Rotary Conference in Duluth. And out came the idea of spokes. They used Rotary Club and International underneath on the lower side of the wheel. And in 1912, Rotary became international. But then they encouraged clubs to put Rotary on top and their club name underneath. But there was no real, I'll say standard. So you can see some had 5 spokes, some had 4 spokes, some, and they were all, it was a little bit all over the place. So we keep going to the next step. In 1920, Oscar Board. He designed what we really come to know as the current rotary wheel with 6 spokes, 24 cogs. The idea of a sturdy appearance and design. Teething spokes were intended to reflect a real working gear wheel. And it's interesting because the number of spokes and the number of cogs do not reflect anything. That's always a question. It does not mean anything in Rotary, the history or the programs, and it's still true today. And in 1924, they actually inserted the little keyway into it to make it a true working gear. Otherwise, it would just spin from that standpoint. In 2013, Rotary was revamped, and we still use the Rotary wheel with Rotary International. I said, you don't see it so much. And they put the word Rotary to the side. A lot of clubs will use their names underneath that. But anyway, that's sort of the evolution of it. And you can download and find templates. Obviously, you go to the Rotary website under the Brand Center. So if you need it for brochures, flyers, fundraisers, it's there. The way that we expect a picture of you laying, there out on the beach.
In my Speedo.
As long as you're under the blanket.
Thank you. Do we have a rotary, like an old rotary wheel in Harleysville somewhere?
I have some wheels.
The reason why I ask is if you drive across the ridge up by Percy, up by the airport, on the side of the road on a pole, there is an old, it's old, it's rusty, an old rotary sign hanging on a pole up there. Like a metal. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Go there tonight, get it.
In your Speedo.
I was just curious. Okay. Any brags or sags? Chuck.
My daughter returned safely from Peru. She was down there with a tour group, and so I'm just thankful that she had a great trip and returned safely.
Carol?
Garden of Health in the last 2 weeks has moved 32,000 pounds of produce. Wow. Chuck and I are exhausted.
Was there any particular kind of produce? Like
Green beans, cabbage, tomatoes, corn, zucchini. We got two tractor trailers full of produce.
So a lot of the heavy stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.